I'm JNM's MMA. This is my recap and breakdown of UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. What an amazing fight. What an amazing card. We needed a card like this. So many good finishes, so many good fights. You know, the UFC's been putting up some crappy cards lately, and we kind of needed this one. The Miami cards always deliver. But yes, let's get to the main event. Let's talk about it. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Volkanovski wins, man. Still supporting my boy Diego Lopes, man. But a lot of people had it 3-2. Volkanovski. I at least had it 3-2 Volkanovski, but a lot of people had it 4-1 Volkanovski or even 5-0 Lopes. But I think you gotta give Lopes 2 rounds, and we're gonna get into it. In the first round, it was all Volkanovski, dude. He was tagging Lopes with a jab, hitting him with a straight. Started off with the leg kicks really good. He even took down Lopes, dude. Hover maxed over him. He dominated that first round. And I literally was like, damn. Volkanovski was vintage Volkanovski there. He looked like vintage Volkanovski. He looked really good out there. I was like, damn, bro. Lopes might actually lose this fight. That's when I was kind of worried. In the second round, I thought Lopes won, dude. I thought Lopes won that round. Two of the judges gave it to Lopes. He had really good. They both had really good exchanges in the pockets. They both like at one point tagged each other and they both fell back. Lopes kind of like tripped and hit the cage, but Lopes was kind of getting into that fight a little bit more. You can kind of see it. He was stuffing Volkanovski's takedowns. I think like literally after the first round, after he got taken down by Volkanovski, he stuffed all of Volkanovski's takedowns. And in the end of the second round, he even dropped Volkanovski, and Volkanovski looked super hurt. You can tell by his eyes, he was like, oh man, I'm in trouble here. But he got saved by the bell. Volkanovski was winning that round in the beginning, but you just have to give it to Lopes. He stole it there. And most of the time when a fighter gets dropped, you usually give it to the fighter that, you know, that almost got the KO. In the third round, you give it to Volkanovski. Volkanovski just did a good job moving out of the pocket, you know, sticking with his jab, leg kicks, and even when they were in the pocket swinging, dude, he had great exchanges against Diego Lopes. And in my head, I'm thinking, damn, it's 3-1 Volk. In the fourth round, I gave it to Lopes. Two of the judges gave it to Lopes. Lopes looked really good. He looked like he was coming into himself in that fight. He had Volkanovski backing up a lot in the cage, but I think that's because Volkanovski knew like he was, you know, he had a chance of winning. A lot of Volkanovski's aura was winning him, was kind of winning him this fight, dude. Volkanovski's aura, dude, was insane, and the way he was just in the striking exchanges with Lopes, tagging Lopes. But in the fourth round, Lopes kind of like hit Volkanovski with a straight left or right, and it grazed the eye of Volkanovski, and that's when Volkanovski was really backing up. And in one of those exchanges, striking exchanges, Lopes landed a really nice hook. In the same striking exchange, Volkanovski landed an overhand right. But I just think Lopes won that round. He looked a lot better. But in the fifth round, Volk was just running away. Like, you know, he knew he won. He didn't want to take a chance of getting knocked out, even though Lopes was like, you know, he had nothing to lose, calling out Volk in the middle of the cage. But yeah, Volkanovski won, bro. He won. I thought Volkanovski won 3-2. I'm going to give Lopes 2 rounds. I don't care if I sound I'm being biased, but I think Lopes won 2 rounds at least. Volkanovski's next fight has to be against Movsar Evloev, dude. Put that in the Guadalajara card. And I think Lopes' next fight is against Yair Rodriguez, dude. Obviously, the beef that cooked up in the press conference. And I'm gonna say this right now, Diego Lopes, he will be champ in this division, dude. Once Volkanovski's done, he will be champ in this division. Diego Lopes, he showed out. He looked good in some of these rounds and the striking exchanges as well. I just think Diego Lopes was really hesitant to really like go after Volkanovski, and in like after the second round where he dropped him, I was literally screaming at my TV like, you gotta go, you gotta go, it's your chance right now, you gotta go, you gotta go. But he never like really kicked it into gear like he did with his other opponents. He never actually like went after Volkanovski. Obviously, when you have a guy running away from you like in the 4th and 5th rounds, like, you know, what is there to go after? But Diego Lopes will be champ. I believe in my guy. I believe in my guy. He will be champ one day. I will be in this chair saying that Diego Lopes is champ. But good job for Volkanovski, dude. He beat the curse. The 35-year-old winning in the lighter weight classes. He did it. It's just, will he beat Ivavov? And how would he do against Ivavov's grappling? We'll see. But we move on to the co-main event. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. I don't know why I picked Michael Chandler, dude. I'm still mad I picked Michael Chandler. I don't know. I just thought Michael Chandler was gonna fraud check Paddy Pimblett with the striking, but I don't know, dude. He looked lost out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Michael Chandler looked garbage, and he looked lost. He looked like dog shit. In the first round, he looked good, and 2 of the judges gave it to Michael Chandler. He tagged Paddy Pimblett with 1 shot on the feet. Paddy Pimblett ate that. He has a good chin. But Michael Chandler, he took down Paddy Pimblett, but he just didn't know what to do with the takedowns. Like, he would just hug the back of Paddy Pimblett, and I'm there like telling Michael, like, yo, okay, get get the leg hooks in, put your body weight on Paddy Pimblett. Nothing. Just didn't know what to do. It was like waiting for Paddy Pimblett to like leave his like head open in the ground and try and knock him out. But you can tell Paddy Pimblett's aura was gonna take over, dude. And in the second round, Michael Chandler just looked super lost out there. He took Paddy Pimblett down a bunch of times. Finally, when he did get the leg hooks in, he tried going for the rear naked choke, but he was way too high. And Paddy Pimblett from there on out just took over, dude. As soon as Chandler lost position, Paddy ground and pound. Almost got the rear naked choke in the end of the second round, dude. But in the third round, as soon as Paddy Pimblett landed that nasty knee to Michael Chandler's cheek, it was over. It was game from there. He would get Michael Chandler to the ground, land some nasty ground and pound, land some nasty 12-6 elbows, and he would get the win. Great win by Paddy Pimblett. Obviously, Michael Chandler's just dog shit at this point. Paddy Pimblett with Dana White aura. I mean, not Dana White aura. Dana White privilege. He's going to get the win. Who is his next fight is going to be really interesting because he calls out the top 5. Calls out Armin. I don't know if he really called out Ilya. I don't remember if he called out Ilya. But called out Gagey, called out Dustin. I'm like, bro, Dustin's like literally gone in the next couple months. But we'll see. What the Paddy Pimblett's next fight is going to be really interesting to see, because what I took out of this fight was Paddy still leaves his chin wide open, dude. And I thought Michael Chandler was going to take advantage of that, but Michael Chandler's striking just more dog shit every single time. But Paddy Pimblett is improving in every single fight. I'll give him that. But obviously, like, look at his last 2 fights. 2-7 Michael Chandler, a Bobby Green that's literally old as shit. Paddy Pimblett's next fight is going to be interesting because I don't want to see Paddy Pimblett fight somebody who's super old, like older than him. But I want to see somebody who's way better of a striker than Paddy Pimblett. But good win by Paddy Pimblett regardless, dude. He did his thing out there. We move on. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. I picked Yair Rodriguez to win, and he did. He won all 3 rounds. I thought the first round was pretty close. But you can give it to Yair because I think he took down Patricio Pitbull in the end of the first round. I forgot, but he did really good using his kicks and tagging Pitbull in the second round. He landed some good shots. Pitbull took Yair Rodriguez down, but he didn't do anything. Yair did a good job getting back up. Did a good job stuffing Patricio Pitbull at the end of the round and tripped him and everything. I had it like 2-0 Yair at that point. In the third round, Yair dropped Patricio Pitbull and was trying to get the ground and pound finish, but he couldn't. He tried going for a heel hook finish, and I was like, what are you doing there, buddy? But nonetheless, 30-27, Yair wins. Great win. He said that Shelby was going to give him a title shot. That's not going to happen. Ivalov's getting the title shot against Volkanovski. And you're fighting Diego Lopes now that he lost and you won. Which I kind of predicted it in, and I think in my Yair Rodriguez versus Diego Lopes beef breakdown, I said if Diego Lopes loses and Yair Rodriguez wins, they're going to make this fight happen. And I think they're going to make this fight happen regardless now. But we move on. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Gene Silva gets the performance bonus of the night. Dude, Gene Silva just looked so good out there, bro. He looked amazing out there, dude. Like, there's no stopping this guy. His stamina is insane. The way he plays with his prey, like the way he just does, like, bro, he just has a switch when he gets out there, dude, and it's just crazy work for him, dude. It's just crazy work. And in the first round, dude, he was stuffing all of Bryce Mitchell's takedowns. It looked like that was Bryce Mitchell's plan from the jump. And dude, Gene Silva just looked really good out there, stuffing his takedowns. Bryce Mitchell was kind of outstriking Gene Silva a bit, but Gene Silva was just there waiting for his shot. But he had Bryce Mitchell in a dangerous guillotine to end the first round. But right in the second round, Bryce Mitchell just didn't stop going for the takedowns. And I was like, bro, you're going to get caught with something by Gene Silva. And, dude, Gene Silva's aura is insane, brother. He got Bryce Mitchell in a front choke, took him down. It was super tight. Bryce Mitchell's like knew it was over for him. He tapped. Gene Silva wins. The man's barking all up in the arena. This dude is championship caliber. Gene Silva is championship caliber. I do not care what anybody says. This guy is gonna fight for the belt one day. Just hopefully not against Diego Lopes. I cannot see that fight happen. I will cry. But Gene Silva is just nasty, dude. The Fighting Nords have so much aura, and Gene Silva, I don't know who's beating Gene Silva, dude. But performance of the night for sure, Gene Silva. Paddy Pimblett gets the performance bonus of the night, as you can see on my screen as well. But we move on. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. I picked Nikita Krylov because I was like, damn, Dominic Reyes losing to, you know, Ryan Spann and whatever. Long story short, Nikita Krylov in the first round, he kind of lunged at he lunged at Dominic Reyes, and I was like, what are you doing? You do that one more time, you're gonna get slept. And he did it a second time, and he got slept by Dominic Reyes, and it was a great win by Dominic Reyes. There's nothing to say. He literally he slept Nikita Krylov. But great win by Dominic Reyes, dude. After going on a losing streak, he's been on a tear. He's put himself back in the light heavyweight contention. I cannot wait to see what's next for him. But great win, nonetheless, by Dominic Reyes. Super elite win. We move on. Dan 50K Ige versus Sean Woodson. I picked Sean Woodson to win this fight, and he looked trash in this fight. He looked like dog crap. He was throwing pebble shots and looking for his shot, you know, just tagging Ige a little bit. He looked scared to throw. He looked scared to throw, and Dan Ige was there to throw with intention. Yeah, Woodson had some moments in his fight, but like Dan Ige was up on every single judge's scorecard, 2-0. And in the third round, he lands on Sean Woodson's chin. Ige turned it up. Woodson was in trouble. Shot for a takedown, didn't get it. Was literally on like what was hanging onto Dan Ige's leg, and Ige was there throwing shots. I thought Woodson was about to get up, and as soon as he was about to get up, the the ref stopped the fight. I was like, damn, that's a horrible stoppage, early stoppage. But it kind of didn't really matter. Dan Ige was winning up. He was winning. He was up 2 rounds. And I'm happy Ige won, bro. It's been a year since Ige won, and he kind of needed this win to kind of keep himself in the rankings, dude. And he beats the alien looking fool in Danny and Sean Woodson. But we move on. Yang Zhang versus Yang Yang. I don't know how to say this chick's name. I don't know how to say her name. Against Vina Jandiroba. I picked Vina Jandiroba to win, and she did. She dominated all 3 rounds, bro. Dominated Yang Zhang on the ground. Had her in an armbar in like every single second of all 3 rounds. There's not much to say about this fight. What's next for Googly Eyes? It's the belt, dude. She's been on a tear. She's like on a crazy win streak. Do I think she beats Weili Zhang? Maybe not. It'd be kind of crazy to see those two grapple. I would love to see this fight, but I think Weili Zhang will beat her on the feet. I do think Jandiroba has elite grappling though. I just want to see Weili Zhang beat fight the winner of Shevchenko versus Farah. I think Weili Zhang deserves to be a 2-division champ, and hopefully it's a fight against Shevchenko that would make Weili Zhang's resume really good. But nonetheless, great win by Jandiroba. I think she's next for the belt if they don't make the Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang, or if Farah wins, whatever. But we move on down. Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. I picked Chase Hooper to win, and he won. He looked really good and really dangerous. Man was throwing up submissions from the bottom, arm triangle, backpack Jim Miller and everything. In the second round, he took down Jim Miller, dude. Had Jim Miller in some really bad positions, but Jim Miller, being the crafty vet that he is, was aware and was able to get out of him. In the third round, In the third round, Chase Hooper had a chance to get, Jim Miller out of there with a calf slicer or a twister, but, he was winning by domination, and he won. Great win by Hooper. He said he spent way too much time gooning in camp. That's my dog. He's part of the Gooner Nation. But great win by Hooper. His next fight has to be somebody that is not 20 years older than him. Maybe someone of his age, maybe like a striker or something. But the UFC's building him up. But it was still a great win by Chase Hooper. We move on down. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. This was just sad to see. It looked like your dad fighting your grandpa over the last beer in the backyard, bro. And yeah. Julian Erosa first of all, they both look shitty, they both look slow, but Erosa just destroyed Elkins. I don't even know how Elkins was a 2-fight win streak, but whatever. This fight should have been stopped from the moment the fight started. Great win by Julian Erosa. We move on down. Cedric Dumas versus Michael Lachanchek. I picked Michael Lachanchek to win. And I'm so happy the new Polish fighting nerd won. He dropped Dumas with a swinging bicep, you can say. I guess it was a swinging bicep. And Dumas fell to the ground. Dumas was kind of still in there, but he wasn't changing positions or moving. He was just shelled up. And it's like, if you're not going to move, the ref is going to call it off. And the ref stepped in and stopped the fight. Great win by Michael Lachanchek. He needed a win. He was on like a 3-fight losing streak against, UFC, throwing some crazy prospects at him. But great win. He needed that. We move on down. Shuma Georgie versus Mitch Raposo. I picked Shuma Georgie to win. And first round was really close. I don't know how you would score that. I would still give that to Shuma Georgie. I would not give that to Mitch Raposo. But you can give Mitch Raposo the first round. There was not really much action. In the second round, though, Shuma Georgie popped Mitch Raposo's win. That mouth was leaking his nose was leaking like a menstrual cycle. And in the third round, Shuma Georgie was like basically stuffing every single Raposo's takedown attempt. I'm just like, I don't know how you give it a split decision. One judge had gave it to Mitch Raposo. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? Like, Shuma Georgie was like 39 to like 9 in significant strikes, bro. Like, come on. Like, I'm reading it right now. 45-9 in significant strikes. What? Why? Why are we giving it to Mitroposo? Nonetheless, great win by Sumo Georgie, getting the win. We move on down. Tresean Gore versus Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio, I picked him to win, and man, that man is the real deal, brother. Especially when you have Norma Big Booty Dumont in your corner, bro. You're gonna be winning in life. His striking arsenal is insane. He hit Tresean Gore with spin kicks to the body, wheel kicks, jabs, hooks, elbows. This man was doing it all out there, dude. Shout out to Tresean Gore for eating some of the shots and even like stung Trulio, but Trulio was just, bro, like Tresean Gore was just not throwing enough. He just was like shutting up most of the time, and Trulio hit him with a head kick. Ground and pound finish. Marco Tulio's dangerous for the middleweight division, and I cannot wait to see his next fight against like a real opponent. I want to see a real opponent. But we move on to the one that started it all. Nora Kano versus Haley Cohen. I picked Kano to win. She won. First round, she got herself into like a really bad position, and Cohen just stayed on top, did nothing. Second round, Corno got back to position, got the leg hooks in, got the rear naked choke, got the win. Just don't miss weight next time. But overall, an amazing card. Amazing card. We needed a card like this. Volkanovski's champ. Diego Lopes, you will be champ, brother. I will still support you. You're one of my favorite fighters. But that was my recap, guys. I'm JNeps MMA. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.